Good morning, and welcome to It's Your Life Own It. My name is Marissa Bludorn. I am your host, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I cannot believe that it feels like just yesterday when I said this year would go by very fast. And here we are, the last month of the year, December. And we are here at the end of the year. And so we are going to talk about we have a special issue that's an annual issue for Own It magazine. It's called The Year at a Glance, where we reflect, we look over the past year, and we assess that year and we project into the coming year. And so today we're going to talk about, that introspective work, that looking in, that reflecting, so that you are prepared for the coming year to project into the coming year. So taking center stage and owning it with me is Jacqueline Lulu Brown, Teresa Palmer, Tiffany, Coach Tiffany, and Pastor Durain. Hey, ladies. Hey, ho, hey. I don't know what it is about this particular group, but I always feel high energy. I guess it's because it's the top of the week. I don't know what it is, but I always get so excited when you guys come on with me. So I have to kind of bring it down so I don't overwhelm the audience or anybody in the room. But I'm so excited. Just like I said before I brought you guys on, I cannot believe, and I don't know how many of you remember me saying that this year is going to go by. And all I could think about, because of the way that I think, it's not anxiety, it's not anxiousness, it's not even concern or worry. It's just really enlightenment, the importance of seizing the moment, right? Because when you don't seize the moment, when you're not thinking intentionally, you can miss out. And then you don't want to be one of those individuals that say, I wish I would have, could have, should have, but I didn't. And so for me, the urgency at the beginning of the year to say be strategic and intentional was because I really want you to be strategic and intentional so that you, at this point of the year, that you get the results that you get the transformation that you're really yearning for. You're not only do you want it, but you actually need it. And so as we think about it, each one of you were charged to write an article for the Year at a Glance issue. Reflecting, looking back, because how do you measure your growth? How do you measure results if you don't go and look back? You got to look it back and you got to see where you were yesterday or at the beginning of this year and where you are today at the end of the year. You do things that were necessary, and are you standing today in the results that you wanted to have at the top of the year? And so I want to give them a glimpse into perhaps a little bit without giving it away, because we do want them to read the magazine. We want them to read your article. Would you be so kind as to share a little insight into the reflecting part? We're here. This is the time of celebration. We So be cognizant of time, because we get passionate when we're speaking, and so sometimes we lose track of time. So make sure that share, Teresa, a little bit of insight, projecting, reflecting, and projecting.
Yes, good morning or afternoon, evening, everyone. And thank you for joining us. The Year at a Glance. Oh, my goodness. For me, and I'll just share a tiny bit what I wrote about, was that things didn't go as I thought that they would. In fact, for 2 years, things have been a bit of a challenge. Things have happened. And I think the most important part is that we can have and do whatever we want. Number one, we have to do the inner work. We have to really look at ourselves and do the work. And number two, the time has to be right. And I'm not talking about linear time. I'm not talking about month to month or year to year. I'm talking about that time, what they call divine timing, or when things happen when they're supposed to happen. So things didn't happen as I thought they would happen or as I had planned that they would happen. So things got pushed back. And I literally had to take a look again at my own self, at my inner work, at not only doing the work that I needed to do for me inside to stay calm, to stay with inner peace, not to get excited, not to be proactive rather than reactive. But I also had to use faith that things would happen when they were supposed to happen, and that I had to go with that, to continue to just do my work on myself. And that's so important because for over 24 years, I've been working with my patients and private clients on how to do the inner work, because we could have anything we want. We could always be successful, but we have to really do the work. And I think a lot of times that we're kind of told, they kind of throw the word manifestation around a lot. Manifest this, manifest that. Well, what manifestation really is doing your inner work to get the success and the goals or the outcome that you really want. And again, that's all about going inside ourselves, about knowing who we are. I'm a big believer in meditation, in quiet time, in having people settle into themselves to get to know themselves. And also what I call heart consciousness. And the heart is really your inner knowing. And when we talk about the soul, it's not religious, it's not spiritual. Religion and spirituality has come in to that realm. But when you really look at the soul is from the Latin word, and it really means inner wisdom, psyche. So we're all born with that inner wisdom. We just, as adults, we're conditioned to look outside ourselves and not trust ourselves for the answers. So, especially if you're going through a challenging time, really need to look inside yourself. You really need to trust your inner wisdom, because it's really you that has the answer. There's no one else that can give you the answer. Sure, they could help you with things and they can help guide you. But in the end, it's really up to us. And everything starts with us, everything that we create, and we are co creators of our life, starts with us. And everything that happens starts with us, and we have that power inside of us to change the outcome. We may not be able to change when something happens, but we can certainly change an outcome. We could go from being, oh, poor me, this is what happened. And I certainly could have done that over the past 2 years. That, this is happening, that's happening for me. I can't do this, I can't do that. But life happens for you, it doesn't happen to you. So you take what's going on and you say, how can I work with that? What can I do with these situations or these things that I've been giving? And how do I come back stronger with that all? And in 2025, with Own It magazine, I would like to go deeper into how we can trust ourselves, our intuition, our inner knowing, how to work with our heart consciousness, how to use our heart as a vehicle to really help us. Because in the medical profession, we think of it more in negative terms. And by that I mean disease, which is really disease. But your heart could also put your body in balance, which means that your heart could help you not only with good health and well being, but it could also help you with your whole life. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. And you and I are right on point in regards to spending that time by yourself. That's very, very critical. And I wish that someone would have came along and said that to me when I was a young woman, even a young girl, the importance. I did kind of have that space as a little girl, by myself, right? Because my siblings were a few years older than me, old enough and on doing their own thing enough for me to have had a lot of playtime by myself. So I wasn't unfamiliar with that self space. However, as I got older, had my children, I lost sight of the importance of that. And maintaining that. And you have to figure that out. I know that even if you're a single mom, um, you have challenges, you have to find, and I always say this, it takes a village. Find your village, whether that's a bloodline village or a village of a family that you just have to be happen to be adopted by. But you have to find that village, because when you find that village, you can actually allot yourself that personal time, because you do have to learn how to trust yourself. It's funny because, as you know, I'm always taking notes. I always say to folks, when you're around, you're gleaning from someone of wisdom, great wisdom, don't be foolish enough and don't insult them by not having a pen and a piece of paper. You got to write and take notes, because when you transfer that knowledge into your own language, it becomes your own. Now that knowledge becomes transferred and you can own it. And so you're very, very on point when it comes to that introspective work, and then taking time to know yourself, because when you know yourself well enough without external influences, we spend that time talking about to yourself about what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to accomplish, without that external influence to cause you to self-doubt and self-sabotage. You are able to create a foundation that is unshakable, that when you now come back into a room full of folks that may cause you to doubt or question your agenda, you can push back and say, no, I know myself and I'm trusting myself and I'm going to move. I love, and I can digest it, I can assess it, analyze it, take what's for me, dump what's not for me, and keep it moving. That's critical for setting the foundation that's required for you to set a goal and actually reach it. I'm going to go and I'm going to just say to you, so excellent, you know, Teresa, I love hearing you. I love the fact Teresa has, for you guys who are aware of it or not, she doesn't just write an article, she actually has her video attached to the article, because there's nothing like reading something but not knowing the behind the words. And when you have someone, you have the author of the article taking the time to actually let you hear her voice, and give her analysis of what she's actually written. That's so much, oh my God, that's such a that's a huge thing, because now you're just not solely going on your own interpretation of what's being said. You get some insight from the author themselves. And so thank you so much, Teresa, for taking the time to make sure that you give them an extra, something extra, bonus, to make sure is transferred, the information, the knowledge is transferred. I'm gonna just give you a lineup, because we are, we're strict with time, and there's so much to say, as philosophers, because we all are philosophers. We have so much to give, but so little time to give it. And so I'm just gonna say, Lulu, you're up next. Coach Tiffany, you're up, and then Pastor Durain, you just guys take it and flow with it. We're talking about, reflecting on the year and projecting with great wisdom based on results for the coming year. So Lulu, you're up. Tiffany, then Pastor Durain. Come off mute.
Okay, sorry about that. I was also starting my timer. Just greetings, everyone. It is really, truly uh, beyond a blessing that we're even making it through the end of this year. And we know that there's been a lot of devastation. Ending the year and moving into the new one, it has to be with clarity and purpose. And I had the same thing that in my head that Teresa stated. It requires intentional reflection, and it also requires the release and the preparation. So there's like those three critical things when you're reflecting back over this year and preparing to go into next year. Make sure that your reflection is very intentional. Releasing things that do not serve you. And then the preparation. And, looking at some essential truths. There's just some times when we don't face those truths and we kind of leave them over there on the side, but they're going to come back in 2025 and they're going to present themselves again. So Say to yourself, reflection is non-negotiable. I know for me, it's just non-negotiable. I have to reflect. But what is really important is celebrating your wins. We're in a world where people want to hear the bad news first. If the cliche, do you want the good news or the bad news? Most people say they want the bad news first. Celebrate yourself. Acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments, big or a little lower. And I don't say small because I don't believe in anything being small. But celebrate not just the big wins, but celebrate the wins that may not be as large as you want them to be, but they're a win. Every victory, no matter what the size, deserves recognition, and look at those very specific lessons. Reflect on the challenges and the areas where there's room for development and opportunities. I don't say failures. I just got a problem with with some of the language. And I know when we're doing the things like the SWOT exercises, yes, I do understand. But when you are speaking to yourself in a reflective mode, just say, here were my challenges, but I'm not going to look at these as failures. I'm just going to say that this is an area where there's an opportunity for me to improve or do it differently. Or maybe it didn't work because it wasn't meant to be. So I'm not even going to try to do anything with that. I'm just going to move on. And then asking, what did this experience teach me? Whether it's successful, whether it was challenging, look to see, what did I learn from all of this? Because growth very often comes from discomfort. Look at those very uncomfortable times and kind of analyze and say, what did I learn from this and how did I grow? Now, maybe some people grow from a really wonderful place and everything is great, but growth in my life has come very often from a painful spot because there was something that I needed to learn. And then, last but not least, when you're going through looking at coming out of this year and going into the next, declutter emotional baggage. That's something that people don't openly talk about because we feel like we're supposed to be perfect in front of the world. I don't have no emotional baggage. I'm not around any toxicity. Sometimes we have to acknowledge and say, when I think about it, that situation, that's some emotional baggage, and I'm going to remove that and say goodbye to toxic patterns. Evaluate what no longer serves. And I'm going to give you the things as I wrap this: growth, habits, mindsets, or relationships, and make space for the better. I'm going to say one more time: evaluate what no longer serves. Does it serve your growth? Does it serve those great habits that take you to success? Does it serve your mindset, your relationships? And if it doesn't, make space for better. Thank you, Marissa.
Yeah, come on mute. There you go.
I absolutely love what I'm just thank you so much for having me this morning. Hello, everyone. Coach Tiffany. I just love what I'm hearing today. And, this year has definitely been a year of change because, getting ready for a international relocation can be very tough. So personally and professionally, right? So you really have to learn the power of the pivot because you never know what's going to come at you, but you just really have to keep a positive attitude about it and a positive outlook, because once that little negative something comes in your mind, it's going to open up your mind to more negative things to come, and it may just fall apart. And that is what we've really been reflecting on this year, is because we have been in alignment with every step of the way, as of today, we have all of our ducks in a row. We have our dates planned, and it is absolutely amazing. Now, reflecting on this year physically for myself, I have been coming out of an injury, so getting back into the coaching realm, I've been able to site coach. Okay. But site coaching for someone that likes to physically show up has been a very, very difficult. But again, the power of the pivot, being able to, tap into those individuals that are feeling the same way that I have been feeling for the last few years, being able to tap into people that are ailing in these back issues, knee issues, things like that, and being able to really learn some ways to be able to show up for people and to be able to provide that value. Now, Marissa, you were saying building a village, right? Building a village around you is everything. I have a very, very strong village. I mean, here with the Own It platform, as well as the Girl Powerhouse Network, when you have a village of people around you that you can just be able to, talk about anything to, be completely vulnerable and just open. Each person has probably been through something very similar to it, and they can really help to get you through it. So being open and sharing with people this year has been amazing. Getting into some rooms where I have been completely scared because I didn't think I belonged in those rooms. It's magical. I have some friends now in some places that I'm like, wait, what? Wow, that's just amazing. And they're just people just like us. So when you
Yeah.
start getting into those rooms, as you do, because this 2025, you better open up them doors that you've been scared to open up, okay? Because there is some magic behind those doors. There is some relationship building behind those doors that will take you personally and professionally. Just sky's the limit. So in closing, really, I again want to tap into what Lulu said about celebrating your wins. Celebrate every single win, especially when it comes to releasing weight, right? Releasing and it's the weight of the world, people. It's not just when I'm talking about weight. I'm not just talking about physical weight. I'm talking about physical, mental, spiritual weight that might be laying on you right now, and even some of that financial weight, because this time of the year is the time of the year that people really start to feel a little bit of financial weight. But just know that you have a lot of resources, especially the resources right here in the room, and so many more here on the Own It platform that can help you get to the other side. So I want to just thank you again, Marissa, so much for allowing me to have this platform to share and to be able to impact the lives that I have been able to impact through PFF Magazine and contributing to your platform. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. It's an honor to have you. It's Pastor Durain.
Good morning. Good morning. I am so honored and blessed to be among these mighty, mighty women, powerful women. And thank you for how you poured into me, Teresa. It's so important, ending the year strong and moving forward. Lulu, I love celebrating your wins. I don't think we do that enough. I think we're so busy focusing on the big picture that we forget to celebrate those little wins. So that is crucial. Tiffany, I'm excited for you moving internationally. That is amazing. So definitely thank you for that, because that's what a coach does, and you coaching yourself to move to another level. So I appreciate all of that. This year it started out very challenging. I lost my mother, I lost my brother, I lost my best friend. But you know what? God said, reflect on what you have. And what do you have that you can use to encourage someone else? Just like you said, that pain that we experience, it's growth. God says the storms are going to come. The question is, can you stand the rain? And if you can
Mhm.
stand that rain by focusing and receiving the power and the strength of God, anything that is thrown your way, you can handle it. So when I reflect on this year, Marissa, just like you said, intentionally reflecting for me is with purpose, positivity, and looking at the possibilities. If you had told me in January, ladies, I would be here honored to be in your presence, I would have said, first of all, I don't know anything about owning and doing things international, but look at where God has brought me, even through the pain. The pain has been the motivator. When I look back, what would your brother want you to do? What would I call my mother mommy. She was mommy to the day she died. What would mommy say? And then my best friend Dinah, what would Dinah say? She would say, girl, you go ahead and you work it. You put all you have into it. You take all that positive energy so that you can be a blessing to someone else to help them get through their hurting. And I think that's how we help people reflect on their year, allowing them to look at their wins. Look at some of the positive things that you do. One of the things that I've been telling people to do at Thanksgiving, for those of us, this is the first Thanksgiving without all those loved ones. Don't focus on the fact that you don't have them. Focus on the fact that God allowed you to have them for that amount of time. What did they pour into you that you can pour into someone else that may not be at the mindset? Like you said, it's a paradigm shift how we deal with grief.
Mhm.
But we have to reflect on the positive things that they've done. So we told funny stories. I have told some doozies that my children didn't know that my mother did. And they were like, Nana didn't do that. Oh, Nana did do that. And Nana said that. But it helped us to laugh. Laughter is so good for the soul. It gets those endorphins flowing and you feel good. So when we reflect on the year, reflect on the good things, reflect on the positive things. And as we go into 2025, hey, look at the possibilities. And Tiffany, I'm going through all those doors that God is opening. And I'm excited about what he's doing. I'm excited about working with Marissa and you, Teresa, and Lulu and Tiffany, and how God has brought all of us together for such a time as this. We are blessed, but we are blessed to be a blessing to others. And I am so thankful the opportunities that we're all having to pour into other women to help them on their journey to their destiny, where the possibilities are endless. Thank you for my time. I appreciate
Oh
it.
my so good. I love it. I always say you got to press through the mess to get to God's best. And that's what we have to do with challenges in life. We got to press through. And like Lulu said, that awkwardness is designed to make you is designed because when you go through anything new, you feel awkward because you're not proficient in it yet. But once you do anything and you press through that awkwardness, you become proficient, and through that awkwardness becomes confidence, right? So I love it. And then, yeah, the year at a glance special issue of Own It is all about legacy, right? It's all about legacy. And we have loved ones that we've lost, but isn't it our responsibility now? They passed the baton to us, whether young, or whether older. They still pass the responsibility for us to carry out the work, right? It's not for us to sit down, not to cave in, loathing. Mourning is for a set period of time. It's not for you to remain in that. And it is a good thing to mourn because guess what? It shows that we care, we love them, that they were valuable to us. But how more invaluable to us can they be if we continue to carry out the work, continue to speak their names into the atmosphere, and the impact that they have? They stay alive through that here on the earth. They're still alive, but they stay alive in our lives as we continue to speak their names. I love my mom. And just like you said, I always say, what would my mom say? And that's always behind, that's always in the back of my head. My mom would say, Marissa, don't do a half stepping job. If you're going to do it, Do it 110%. Don't ever do something halfway. And so that's very important. And I'm so glad that Tiffany said the word tap. Because remember, we got to tap. So with that being said, before we close out, do you mind? I don't know if you remember, but with the last time we were together, I said you're going to treat us to that tapping, and then I'm going to have my closing remarks. So Tiffany, could you take us through a little bit of tapping? So this is about relaxing, getting into that center place. And Tiffany, just share a little bit of what tapping is, just so that they know it. And then let's do some tapping. Yeah, come off mute.
There we go. All right. So tapping. So EFT tapping. That is what's called an emotional freedom technique. We have different points of our body, and it's like the acupuncture points, right? And those points really help you to tap into yourself energetically. So they will help you when you're dealing with anxiety or you're dealing with depression. I originally got turned on to this when I was going to be speaking at the Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour, first time ever being on a stage that large, and was horrified. So I needed something to calm me down so I could actually get on the stage. So I learned tapping. So tapping, I'm going to take you through the points. So the first way that you're going to do is you're going to do what is called the karate chop. So you're going to go here and you're just going to tap that. You're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. You can feel yourself kind of opening up. Take a nice deep breath again. And we're going to do a tapping, blessing tapping. This is by Carol Look, and it's a vibration of abundance. So the first tapping point that we're going to go to is going to be right here above the eyebrow. You can use 2 fingers or you can use 1. I like to use 2. We're going to tap right here. We're going to say, I bless who I am and how I feel right now.
And how I feel right now. Bless who I am and how I feel.
And how I feel right now. Yes. We're going to go to the side of the eye. I bless my family and how they love me.
I bless my family
and how they love me.
Yes.
Feel that? Take a nice deep breath. Now we're going to go under the eye. I bless my incredibly strong and healthy body. I bless my incredibly strong and healthy body.
Yes.
Now we're going to go under the nose here. I bless all of my friends.
I bless all of my friends.
And wish them love and prosperity.
And wish them love and prosperity.
Yes. And the chin. I bless all the abundance I already have in my life.
All of the abundance
I already have in my life. Now, this is my favorite tapping point here. It is the collarbone, very strong. Bless my home and how I live.
Bless my home and how I live.
Now we're going to go under the arm. Now you can either go here. I like to do both because I like to hug myself. Bless my excellent job, my coworkers and boss. Bless my
excellent business, job, my people, and my opportunities and my clients.
Yes, there you go. Now we're going to end with the top of the head. Bless my mind and how many wonderful ideas it generates. Bless my mind and how many wonderful ideas it generates.
Amen. Woo, that's good. Don't you feel good?
In that there, just.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Feels, yeah, there you go. And you got to breathe in and you got to breathe out because now you're releasing. you're getting rid of, and you're sucking in what you're supposed to have, and you're releasing what you're not supposed to have.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
that's excellent. It's excellent. It's an excellent way to end our session today. And we just really want to say to you, this is the year at a glance issue, and this is about reflecting, looking back so that you can move forward, assessing and addressing to move forward. Just a blessing to have you all here with us. And we are, I want to say this, we are celebrating 5 years. We'll be here in the Dominican Republic in May, celebrating 5 years. We'll be doing another live speaker event, Own It X 2025 here during that same time. So really, really excited about getting that message out. We have several retreats that are retreat that is coming up in March here in the Dominican Republic as well. And we're really excited about providing opportunities for you to retreat, refresh, to reset, dealing with that mental mindset. You need to be able to step away from your world, get poured into, so that you can go back in the world rejuvenated and on fire, ready to accomplish all that you want to accomplish. If you're interested in any of those retreats, just reach out to us. If you're participating in being a part of the Own It X 5-year celebration of Own It Magazine and Publishing, by all means, reach out to us. You can go to www.tcsconsultingllc.com, or you can hit me up and message me on social media, message Lulu, message Teresa, any one of us, because we're all a part of the Own It Magazine and Publishing family. Teresa, Lulu, Pastor Deraine, and Tiffany are all contributing writers. Tiffany is the editor-in-chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine. She'll be celebrating also too, moving here to the Dominican Republic, and we're so excited to have her. Teamwork makes the dream work. We love you so very much. This has been a special edition of the Year at a Glance issue for Own It Magazine. We've been live with you, looking back, reflecting to projecting. We love you so very much, and be blessed throughout this December month. We're out. Thank you, ladies.